to another edition of the SKEAM podcast. Y'all know what we do. We bring it every week. Buffalo, New York, stand up. Charlotte, North Carolina, stand up. LA, stand up. Philly, stand up. And DMV, stand up. I am your host, Main Manifest. To my left, I have
_1 DJ Tiz. Check me out on Instagram. Peace.
To my right, I have
nigga in the zebra chair, Pookie Long Johns.
And y'all know y'all can check us out right here. SKEAM.podcast on YouTube. SKEAM_podcast on IG. We toasting it up, fellas.
That's right, we sure is.
Boom, boom, raise your glass. Let's go.
Raise your glass, then raise the ass.
Raise ass? We ain't raising ass, is we?
Damn. No, I said raise her ass.
Raise her ass in here.
Her ass.
Y'all know how we do it, man. We want to show love to everybody who's been subscribing, been watching, been riding with us, been vibing with us, been building with us, been growing with us, man. This is organic, grassroots. We giving it to y'all fresh and raw, and we appreciate the love. You know, we always start with sports. There's been some news going down. My Lakers, the Lake Show, they're talking about your man AD, Anthony Davis. Wanted out, want to come and play with LeBron.
He went out.
They talked about LeBron. They talked about that brother, saying, "Oh, nobody want to play with him. Nobody want to play with him." Now you got Kyrie apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry." Now you got AD saying he wants to opt out of his max deal he could get. What's crazy, y'all? He can get $200 million. He's leaving 5 years, $210 million on the table to get out of New Orleans.
Who don't want to go be in LA chilling, out in the sun, having fun, on a beach with a bitch?
And they say he's saying it's about his legacy because he knows that he could win championships, you know, with LA. And I respect that, right? I respect that from the standpoint of, yo, you leaving money on the table. I mean, no bag is promised, but this man said my legacy and what I'm striving to do in my craft is more important than the money. You don't see that nowadays, do you, bro?
Well, I mean, KD not started it. I'm sure you had cats doing it before him, but
the big three, Boston,
right,
and all
right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
Correct. Kevin Durant definitely laid the groundwork for, you know, going to a team a dynasty to win championships with nothing in mind but, you know, your legacy.
Right.
So I mean,
even LeBron though, LeBron did it with the Heat. Everybody gave.
Yeah, but LeBron came back home.
Yeah, and still got the one with.
That's why I wish KD would have came to the Wizards.
Yeah.
Even though he might not couldn't win no time soon.
Right.
But just the point of you coming home to bring a championship to home court. I mean, I think that's the foundation of basketball. And you went to other neighborhoods, you go to other, you know, blocks and play ball against other neighborhoods and other blocks, but you bring it back home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think he's going to do that because I feel like
Who?
KD. They say he might come to the Knicks, not the DC.
He's not from New York.
I know, but his father's a Wizards fan. See, they're looking at media markets too. So it's business decisions. It's the East Coast, and a lot of times they're looking at the East. Now that LeBron is out of Cleveland, only teams you really have is Philadelphia and Boston. That's contending for titles. So the superstars are saying, like, I could do like LeBron and play in the Eastern Conference Finals every year with a shot for a ring, have my own city, have my own town. So we're gonna see with KD. But you know,
so
back to
when do they make the decision? Like, when is it? Is it like a deadline?
27.
So the trade deadline is coming up for the NBA, but so he has they got a couple days to still make that trade. But what's crazy though is, you know, they looking at media markets. Like I said, KD caught a lot of slack for going to, you know, Golden State. Yeah. So it's now we got you know AD, which I know is going to balance the power in the West. Yeah. You know, the Los Angeles Lakers. It's going to be interesting, man. I think LeBron actually and AD, if they make it happen, you know, will really give Golden State a run for their money. And that's what they're looking to do, man. And, you know, y'all know I'm a Lakers fan, so it's going to be interesting to see, man. I don't know if they're going to trade him before it's deadline.
Trying to one up the other. Is they trying to balance each other?
Well, they got a super team. You know, they really, I told you, it's like they jumping LeBron. It's like 4-on-1. So now LeBron getting his help. You know, let's see.
Bricks, chestnuts, rocks at his ass. They trying to get, you got to even it out.
Even it on out. So It's interesting, man. Like I said, we're gonna see how it play out. I hope Magic gets it done, because that'll be really monumental for the league, and really bring basketball. You know, basketball kind of got boring for a little bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay here a little bit.
Magic star, he getting cocky. He said, you know, I could get anybody to come play for me. You know, I could get Jerry Springer to get out this motherfucker.
Jerry
play for me.
Springer.
He talking about he could draft anybody, but he can make it happen though. He said he can make it happen. And he's doing things, so Magic can make magic in LA. So let's see what he do.
Magic is a great businessman, you know, entrepreneur, GM. Some people make the transition from playing to GM and it don't work out. Like, just because you're a great player doesn't mean you're good. Look at Michael Jordan. He was horrible with the Wizards, front office, and with Charlotte. So just because you know how to do something good don't mean you have the business acumen. You know what I mean? Have you seen that, Tiz? Talk about that. I mean, when you was just barber early in your career, then you transitioned to owning the shop. I mean, was it a big step, or you kind of always had to?
Well, it's a little different because I get to be an owner and I get to cut hair and do something that I love under the same roof.
Right.
But if you want to draw a comparison, it would be like me being a barber and I open up a salon, which I've had. Now that is something else, because no matter what you bring business-wise into the salon, you're not in there doing women's hair, so you're strictly in the office. Okay. You get what I'm saying? You can't, owning a barbershop and being a barber, it goes hand in hand. It's like, being a chef and cooking at home. It's easy.
Porno star in the condom.
Oh,
huh?
Girl, if you're a porno star in the condom?
Yeah, porno star and a condom. It goes together.
Some pornos don't wear condoms, right? We're going to go back there. We're going to go back right on the knowledge. I don't know how we got in that. But you know what? Let's stay on that. I mean, are you saying, I'm trying to figure out the analogy.
Yeah, the analogy, like, it goes together like ketchup and mustard. It goes together like a porn star with a condom.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. We figure it out, man, like.
You had to go back 3 times.
I had to think about that one, man. You got me off the square. So, awesome, man. We're going to go keep moving right on to knowledge. Knowledge. Do y'all think it's impactful for fathers to be in the life of their kids? To give them that knowledge?
That's a tough one. Because some kids bad as hell and don't deserve a damn father. But, I'm just kidding around. But no, we're really, every parent should be in their kid's life. Because if they were brought up the right way, the Huxtable way, they would
I love the Huxtable.
I love the Huxtable because I was brought up seeing that. And then, it don't always be like that, but you would hope it was. Because when you brought up differently, you look and be like, damn.
Here's a great question. I'm sorry. No, you had something to
No.
I was going to say, what do y'all think is more important for the fathers to be in the lives of their sons or fathers to be in the lives of their daughters? Or is it equal? What is the more impactful?
I think it's equal.
Okay.
Because, it's balance. Everything needs balance. Little girls need balance. Right. Little boys need balance.
Everybody need a hero.
Right. So it's, you always hear like the male. Well, of course, it takes a male to teach a boy how to be a man, but daughters need their fathers, and you see the difference in fathers, daughters. At least I couldn't come back. You can tell the difference between girls who had their fathers in their lives versus girls who didn't. You see like they conducted themselves in different ways and all that. Right?
I don't think it's broad like that. I think it's circumstance. I'm sure you have some women out there that was raised by single mothers. I know a couple, and they turned out to be great women. But that don't mean that somewhere in their life, either it be a neighbor or it be their experiences in college with a mentor or a professor, somewhere they got what they needed from the man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I know because I dealt with a girl who, she was in one single parent home, but I thought she was perfect. But, when I was with her for a long time, found out she's still.
Damn.
And it's like you were all right, but, you steal. So
Yeah.
that's
That's not good. That's
Deal
not
breaker.
good. That's definitely a deal breaker. But no, I think I like what you were saying, T. I think sometimes you can have your father in your life and your father be a bad example,
Right.
or your mother.
Exactly.
Mother could be junkie. Father could be
pit bull fighter.
all out in jail, in and out of jail, whatever.
But you know what?
So,
And speaking on that, having a junkie mom's,
Mhm.
she's a junkie to the world.
Well,
She's
right.
a mom.
She's
to
still
me.
your mom, right? Absolutely.
So it don't matter if you got
Pac
a
said, even
crackhead
as a
for
crack
moms.
queen mama, you always was a black queen mama. Shout out to Pac. Yeah, so you're right, bro. Like,
So you gotta, you remember that. To the world, they see him one way, but to that child, no matter how beat down, dragged out moms was, that's still your mother, and you're still gonna love her the same as if she was
Or your father.
Michelle Obama.
or your father.
See, I think it takes
Father's a little different.
Right.
I think father's a little different. If your father's out there, you expect a man to be stronger than a woman. So if your
In what
father's out
capacity?
there in a capacity that, if your father out there beat down, yeah, you love him for dad, but you don't give him as many outs as you give moms.
I don't think so. Why? I mean, why? I think that's how society is, but I think it shouldn't be like that. I do agree with you. Like,
Nah,
people have more. They say mama's baby, daddy's baby. That's a saying, but you're right. It's like the mom could do no wrong, and dad,
It's not she can't do no wrong. It's that you're gonna give your moms more of a out when it comes to, being able to handle herself. Now you got some moms out there handle themselves very well. They're not addicted to anything. They're not dealing with alcoholism or domestic abuse or anything like that. But if Pops is out
they can
there,
steal.
if Pops is out there and he don't have a mental illness, but he just let himself go, it's like, come on, dude, get your stuff together.
Yeah.
You don't give him the pass that you would give the moms. Like, damn, if moms had a good man, somebody to, she just needed a partner in life, then maybe she would have been better. You don't say, damn, if dad just, found a woman that could take care of him. No.
Right.
And shout out to the parents on drugs that still feed their kids.
Right.
If you on heroin and all that stuff and you still could feed your kid,
Yeah.
shout out to you. And it's something.
Yeah, and that's real, yo. We talking about some real stuff because that's a sickness and a disease. They don't want to look at it like that. So in crack cocaine, I'm thinking of the movie Halle Berry used to be in, Losing Isaiah. Remember, she was struggling. She was a mom going through dealing with suffering and crack and all that.
All she wanted was her crack in Isaiah.
But she was still fighting the system. That showed a different side of it. So it's funny how when crack cocaine, which affected the black community, came across, they had sentencing in jail and all that. Now you have this opioid epidemic that's going on right now that's affecting the whites. Treating that as a disease. These people are sick.
Back to the
People
90s.
need help. But that's a whole different side of it. But I think you're right, man. I think the men are not, are expected to be like, just deal with it. That's probably the role.
Not deal with it, just be the rock.
Just
be,
overcome,
be
right?
The man.
But if he's suffering from something too, it wouldn't seem like.
What was his example of a man like? So it turns out into that too sometimes.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you get on drugs as a man.
No. I'm talking about
Drugs can affect anybody.
if someone's
Right.
you say be a man, but if the person who's supposed to be a man who you're looking at is a man who he braid hair for a living or he do something. I'm just saying, it's different.
Right. And I think that's what I'm asking. Like, I understand.
Leader.
What he's saying. Like, it's like, okay, if you got an addiction. See, addiction affects anybody. People don't understand addiction. Our sicknesses, alcoholism. You said heroin, crack, all those things. So as a man, we're taught to just, you got to overcome it, deal with it, and that society looks at us like that. As women, it's just, it's more compassion to his point. And the system is designed, like you could be a man, but and if you get a felony or can't get a job, they don't care about that. They'll still take you for child support. This whole system is really set against men. financially and all that, right? So, and some women know that. That's why they, you know, they operate and deal how they.
But you got to remember, we all got choices, and you know,
Absolutely.
you got free will and you got choices. So you can take the response. I know some young brothers out here right now in college. Having a child is nowhere in their career. They're not even thinking about that. They're doing all the things that they need to do. And of course, anything can happen, but they are putting things together in their lives to keep them on a path that they want to be on.
Right.
Me, myself, as soon as I graduated high school, I hit the road. I was in another state. I was doing this, that, and third. And I had, you know, at 23, I had 2 kids.
Right.
So
doing the nasty.
So it's all about choices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can sit and say, well, I never had a father to tell me that, but I had many examples around me that I didn't want to be like, and then you know.
I'm with you. T. And it's funny because I was kind of that first example you were talking about. So I went to school. You know, I did college. I didn't have my daughter until I was 30, and it was funny because I saw cats who had their, you know, children like in their 20s and all that, and they used to say, "Oh man, you ain't got no kids."
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even that wasn't even
yet?
that
What
wasn't
you
right.
doing?
Well, not even that, but they saw that as like a bad.
Not in something. What
You
you
a catch. I
doing?
remember, you know, I used to date ladies. They're like, "Oh man, by your age, 27, 28."
Yeah.
Excuse me. Most guys have 2, 3 kids, but I knew what I wanted to do. You know, to the point where, you know, again, when I had my daughter, I was able to be in that position.
Better
But
provider.
sometimes it doesn't work out like that.
Right.
So as long as you're a man and you taking care of yours, you know, that's to be acknowledged, man. No matter what you're doing, you could be a sanitation worker. You could be. I ain't knocking nobody who, like you said, putting food in their mouth for their kids and all that. And I think, you know, we need to big up more. Matter of fact, shout out to all the fathers, shout out to all the moms, shout out to everybody taking care of their kids, because it's hard out here, man. It's hard out here during these days, and children need both the mom and the dad equally, because it does take a village to raise a child. It really does. So, you know, that's what we about here on Manhood. We talk about being men and doing that. Another aspect of manhood, you know, is man is a provider. Let me ask y'all this: when we talk about marriage, you know, and we're gonna lean on T on this. He been through it twice. You know, this whole system of marriage, where the guy is supposed to pay for the wedding and all that. Really, a wedding ain't nothing but a souped up
actually,
party.
that's factually wrong.
A souped up party.
Well, no.
I didn't even know they did it. I was supposed to read a rule.
It's not a rule. Okay, so it depends on culture. So you got to talk about culture. In African cultures, men are given dowries like a bride.
I ain't never getting married.
Right.
Oh,
Traditionally, depending on how you were raised, the man is supposed to come up and cover a majority of the wedding.
That's not how
I've heard that. Where did you hear it?
That's not how I heard it.
Okay.
And I believe that's just
Africans?
no. I think that's just factually wrong. Actually, the woman.
Well, there's no right or wrong.
No. It's wrong because the men don't pay for the wedding. In tradition, in our tradition, in the marriage tradition at a church and with bridesmaids and grooms and every wedding I know, and if somebody knows something different, then definitely drop a comment. But the woman's family is supposed to pay for the wedding. The man ain't the man is not supposed to pay for the wedding. But times change.
He changed it up. He might get married now.
Right, he might get married. Times change,
Right.
where you got couples coming up. You know, I know a couple. I'm a DJ, so I DJ many weddings. My man just got married, and they did it together. It was no, you know, it depends.
It depends on what.
It cannot be a blanket answer to any question in life right now.
Absolutely.
Because we live too much of life to see that some things work, some things don't. I know a young couple had just got married about 4 years ago. I had the pleasure of DJing their wedding. It was magnificent, and I know the groom personally. And they put a savings plan together,
Right.
and they put a credit card. They paid stuff on credit card, so it wasn't, you know, the woman, her family paid for the wedding, and all he had to do was show up.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
So let me ask you though. So do you think? Because I've heard that too. Like some people say, you know, daughter. I've seen fathers be like, yo, I got this amount of money set aside for my daughter's wedding. Like the father,
My
like
daughter.
you said, supposed to pay for that.
Right.
So if you have a woman who kind of like you're gonna pay for my wedding, you're gonna do all this, cake, dress. That kind of shows you the intentions of that woman. Because truth be told, some people like, let's go down to the justice of peace. Let's go down there. But you find with a lot of these younger, and you might not be privy to this, T, because you know, a little bit older. A lot of these younger chicks, they seeing them reality shows. My big fat, not big fat Greek wedding. That was a movie, but Bridezilla and all this shit. So they want the $10,000 dress. They want to keep up with Kardashian.
16.
They want their shit taped and all. And it's like, yo, I'm speaking more so to that. Like, it used to then be about all that. Big Mom and them used to be together 50 years and wasn't married. Kamala and all. You know what I mean? So it's funny how where society and culture is going, because.
Well, I think you can take society out and you can put spirituality and religion, because religion has a lot to do with the deciding factor, or that this woman don't want to live with this man for 25 years and don't get married, because it's spiritually and religiously it's not correct. It's not right. You're not supposed to do that. You know. So,
but we know that, like you said, that's not our culture. That's not our
everybody's
religion.
different.
Right. They force that upon us.
Everybody's different. I mean, in African culture, you know, it was, and in many other cultures, especially in India, it's planned weddings. It's arranged marriages.
And it's polygamy. You can have multiple wives.
Bring a cow, you know.
However many wives a man can take care of, that's how many you can have.
Well, I think that ship is sailed.
Nah, you crazy as hell. People still doing it.
That shit was crabs.
Some people still doing it, man. People still, you know, practicing polygamy, multiple wives. I believe.
Which one of you hoes done burned me? Which one of you bitches?
I believe your boy Farrakhan. I mean,
any of them.
I believe.
7 hoes. One of y'all bitches done.
I believe it's Akon. You know, practice polygamy. Don't want to put that out there, man. Yeah.
Right. You might name 5 out of 5 billion.
But they got the money to do it though too. So
change your name to Germ.
And I'm gonna tell you straight up. I dated an Ethiopian. Shout out to Ethiopian Habesha, the Queens.
How about you?
She told me, you know, when she came over here, it was a culture shock to her just to see how American women talk to men. She said, because in our country, she said, first of all, men can have multiple wives. She was so soft spoken, and she was like, so you may be married and you may not see your husband for another week and a half, and you realize he's over there with her. That's a totally different culture.
So you get loud with your man?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right. It's like, now here it's like, what have you done for me lately? You gotta have bop, 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 bop. That's just an American woman. As you travel to different places and see, you know, I've had the privilege to do that, travel to different cultures and experience different women in their culture. It's like, you know, 90% of the world do it different than America.
Please the man.
Right. It's just because the man is honored, it's revered. It's back to what's innately in us. You know, back in the day, the men went out and hunted, fought lions, fought bears, stabbed, killed, brought the food back, and the woman was the hunters. Men were the hunters and killers. Women were the gatherers. They planted, took care of this.
And the woman was at home on Facebook.
So after I spear the fish, I bring it back. The woman light the fire, kill it.
But how about in the cultures and in the villages where you have women as queens?
You do, of course, they're queens.
And not only queens that just cooked, they wasn't the ones that cooked. They was the ones that went out and hunted.
Of course, yeah, you have those cultures as well, but predominantly it was more because the men were more physically bigger, stronger, you know, the protectors. But you did have some matriarchal societies as well. If we got back to that, which is we was talking about that on episode 1, you know, the roles. I could go back and check that out, a little bit of it on the roles. You know, it's just interesting to see that. So you're right when you say the culture.
But even in black families, it seems like it's a woman matriarch type. You know, the grandmother is always the
big mom and all
head of the household. It's never a man though.
Just depends. You can go right here to Southeast DC and grandma in the club.
It's always,
so it ain't like, I mean, you can't put blanket statements on everything because it just depends on the situation.
Of course.
You got spots where, how about with grandma damn dyke? So it ain't gonna be Big Mom cooking chitlins and greens.
Yeah, that's my dildo.
And all that, right? And so what?
Big Mom bringing her girlfriend to the cookout.
Every dyke chick that you see out here right now is gonna get old. And when they get old, they that dyke grandmother. So and people that was gay, and that shit ain't just start happening today.
But what
that
was be grandma?
How about all the women that was gay and dykes in the 70s?
We gonna talk about that. Let's tell you what we gonna have the is your grandma a dyke? You know what I mean? That's gonna be a
how would she be with who nutted in it? Who nutted in that?
How would she be?
How would she be a grandma?
Just because you a dyke don't mean you don't like the.
Me, that wasn't back then. I used to think about some other stuff now.
Right, you used to get your ankles behind your ears too. No, I know a couple, and some of the dykes be the baddest joints. I ain't gonna hold you.
She switched when she was 50 years old.
He said that ain't though. Yo, some of the some of them that he's to his age rolling.
She switched when she was 40. She said,
"Man, please."
I just like.
And you gotta think about it. They ain't got a lot of mileage because they ain't got beat up a lot. You know what I mean? They ain't get wore out a lot. Do y'all think about that? Like how much mileage? I know he does. He can't answer this. He's a married man. Shout out to Queen Tiz. Do you think about sometimes the mileage on like girls you talk to?
girls you talk to, you wonder. See, that's what I always thought. I will always wish it was like a Grand Theft Auto display type thing. Like right above their head, it says 80% dirty twat. So you ain't got. It's like it shows you right up here how many people she's. 100% is too many. She's at 80%. To leave her alone. She's like,
I'm too old for this show.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you what, because where I be at, like, I was thinking, like, I like to go ahead. I like when chicks be quiet, like the geeky dorky chicks, because they ain't really out there in there.
Right.
Because
cover their mouth when they laugh.
Chicks who watch Harry Potter, they in their room reading books and shit. They ain't getting pounded on. So when you get there, it's like. Chronicles of Narnia and all that Lord of the Rings shit.
Yeah.
So, that's just interesting. That's an interesting dynamic as well.
Kind of. That's safe shit.
Right.
That's safe. Lord of the Rings, them type of chicks, they kind of cool. They ain't gonna be the type that's wild.
Now the woman would say we a double standard. I'm gonna tell the woman would say it's a double standard because guys, y'all can hold around, y'all can do y'all thing, and I honestly believe all women gotta have their whole phase. You gotta go through that. I'm for it. I'm saying Do your thing, be promiscuous and all that.
You get with me, get that shit out the way.
Get it out the way. We ain't saying this. I don't look at that. What I've learned in life, man, you don't control nobody's body. So a woman gonna do what she want to do with her body, a man gonna do what he want to do with his body. So if you think about it from that perspective and vantage point, you ain't got to have no problems. We get caught up.
Even when you having sex and you say, "Is this my pussy?" and she said, "Oh yeah, Jory." She's. It's her skin.
So we get caught up when we try to control and possess people, and I think that's where emotions and feelings get caught up in it, because now you get mad when a person do something. But if you set yourself up like, man, it could go either way, left or right, you're gonna be good. You're gonna deal with it from that vantage point.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta be free, and I gotta be free enough to feel that everybody is an individual. But I ain't get there yet. I'm still trying to feel free.
But you heard, like, if a shorty said she'd pay for your wedding, you said you might rock it.
Right, because I might have to, what are you about? I'm want to know. I'm going to be more interested if you ready to pay for the whole
This is a good guy right here, y'all. I want y'all to know, my man PLJ. Right. He's always been, we opposites as brothers. He's always been more of a relationship guy, just, solid, committed, faithful. That's this guy. I kind of been, more single, just, just sports, playboy.
Germ Dickums.
Jermaine? Germ Dickum. I know Germ Dickums out here, though. We clean. We got paperwork. He tried to out here. He tried to shoot one on me. But I'm going to tell you, I like...
You might know something nobody else don't know.
Shit.
Hey.
Ladies, main manifest. Get at me, baby. We here. Single, ready to mingle. And that's what I love about this. We have married. You got all different aspects. You got married. Right. You got unmarried, single. You got unmarried, but relationship. So you're going to get all aspects when we talk about the working queens. But Tiz, talk about it. You said you think, man, I know your ship is sailed. You can't get too much into it. Like, do you think sometimes when married people hang, because I will say this, a single man and a married man live two different lives. So would you say that when married men are around single guys, stuff rub off on them, and vice versa when single men are around married guys? Or
Well, I'm going to speak for the ladies. If you got a married man and he hanging around single guys and he's influenced by single guys.
Like, to your point, T, that's what I'm saying. I think it's the same way. I think whether you're married or you're single, you know, we responsible for our own actions. So why are you saying like you can't be influenced? I can't be influenced. I do what I want to do, and that's whether it's chill, whether it's focus, you know, whether it's, you know, holler at girls, whether it's chill. You know, I go through months or periods where I don't want to holler at no. I'm focused on what I'm doing, my vision, my purpose. So I believe, you know, that's how we as a man, we're responsible for our own actions. Right?
But I think that takes time.
Yeah.
That's like anything else. It's like exercise, right? You don't just go jump up under 250 and bench it, right? You got to work your way up to it.
Right.
So it takes time. It takes discipline. It takes discipline of self to be able to be around people that might be like, yo, everybody having a good time, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna go home because I know that's not where I'm trying to go. That's not my lifestyle.
Wow.
So, but that takes discipline because as a man, once that they get hard, all rationale go out the window, and we all know that.
That's when you gotta sometimes prevent yourself from avoiding regrets, because sometimes you can regret what you act upon, the thought that you act on. You can really regret it the next morning after you nutted. Wake up with dry nut in your hand, you regret it, man. But
a PLJism.
sometimes
Wake up with dry nut on your hand, you regret it, man.
You're gonna regret
Why is it on your hand though?
you don't remember what you did last night. You don't know, but you know you was with a chick and you know where it splashed at, but it was bad. And sometimes when you act out on a thought, you regret it sometimes. So sometimes you can prevent things. You try to not prevent the mental strain of extra thoughts when you don't act upon temptations.
Yo, it's funny, man, because I think I was the opposite. So most people, while out in their 20s, you know, I can say that again, back to me not having a baby in my 20s, I kind of like, I chilled. I was in a relationship, you know, a long relationship, and I remember in college when cats used to go out party, wow, they was running through chick. I was the one like boom, boom, boom. I had a car. I'm like, I'm trying to get my off-campus apartment. Cats was still in the dorms. All this wild. I had a boom, boom, boom. So I wanted to enjoy when I got established. My thing was, let me get established. Let me get my spot. Let me get my stuff. Then I could have fun. You know what I'm saying? Then I could do that was just me. Everybody else different. Some people could do it reverse or do it at the same time. But I want to enjoy my singleness because I worked hard, I sacrificed. So at the end of the day, it's about sacrifice what you're willing to give up. Because once you sacrifice and do that, you know what I mean? And that's not saying I'm buck wild out here. Like I said, ladies, y'all can get in my inbox though. We a gentleman, we take you out on dates, you know.
You paying?
But no, we sacrifice. We sacrifice early so you can enjoy that reward. And I do want to be married. When I meet my right queen, I'm going to be married, you know.
But what you gonna give her?
I mean, I got a lot to give. Man, I got a lot to offer. We're going to have everything.
Nah, I ain't talking about stuff.
I can't tell that because that's not really having
I'm not talking about
I'm
stuff.
not talking about stuff either. I have a lot to give, but I don't want to just put that out there.
But you know what I mean when I say I'm not
Absolutely.
talking about stuff.
Absolutely. It's a lot of different things we're supposed to give and all that. And then, you know, we're going to look at what she brings something to me. You know.
See, that's the thing. When I'm with somebody, I want to learn from. You got to learn. But I feel like both of y'all should be learning from each other. Mm-hmm. Teach me something I don't know. I teach you something.
Come on, P.
And we learn from each other. But when we just together, and I feel like I'm teaching you a whole lot of stuff, and you just sitting there like.
That's why she's sitting there.
Get your stupid ass on.
Yeah. But I think that's a great point though too, because to a certain extent we supposed to be teaching and cultivating. I remember reading a book, The Power and Purpose of a Man, by Dr. Miles Monroe. Rest in power, Dr. Miles Monroe. Great man of God, wisdom and all that. And he was talking about the roles of a man as cultivator, provider, you know, all those things. And then they have the same book for women, talking about how the woman is like an incubator, you know, nurture, and they take us in, literally to how we are, you know, physically created. The men, you know, we penetrate, we go in. The women, they receive, they take us in. So they take what we have and nurture. So if you got a knucklehead running around, you know what I mean, trying to get you to sell hypodermic needles, and he get with a woman, she gonna incubate and cultivate that. If you got a man talking about business, ownership, vision, purpose, all that, right, she gonna take that in and incubate that. But I believe that we have so many roles to fulfill as men, as fathers, as husbands, or whatever title you want to put on it. You know, as protector, provider, protector for our family. So it's a lot on us that we got to do. As with the women, they got, you know, homemaker, nurturer, you know, the provider as well to a certain extent. So when we get back to that, we'll see, like you said, it's a partnership.
Right.
It's a partnership. It ain't about competing. It ain't about I got this, you got that, this mine is yours. It's us together to grind and grow. To
grow together and be better together. Because when you were separated, you come together to be better than you was. So I feel like when you're together, you're supposed to elevate and be better than you ever was. That's the reason for coming together, to be strengthened.
Individually.
You know? Right.
And when you come together, you know, it's one whole person making a new person, making a totally new entity.
Yeah.
So all that stuff you did on your own and all that, you know what I mean? That's why if you want to get spiritual with it, it's like the man and woman become one, you're a new creature. This person is dead. That's why they die. And this together is a new creature. This is a whole new being.
They die.
Not die, spiritually. Spiritually. You know? Right? You died, right?
No.
The old Tiz is dead. He said, hell no.
I don't know what you talking.
You wanna know what I'm talking about? That's biblically, that's spiritual.
Stop.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of that one? Well, that's
That must
right.
be from Buffalo.
No, that's from the Bible.
From the low with
You
chicken
said
wings.
spiritually, you wanted to talk
It's
spiritually.
from the Anchor Bar.
Yeah, you know about the anchor bar. You know about the anchor bar.
So you
A
still
lot
the,
about the Anchor Bar.
you still the same
That
person?
red hot sauce.
Yeah, right.
You still the same you?
Yes.
In marriage?
Yes.
That's good.
Why would you pick a person to marry and then they just gonna change everything that
No,
you...
not change you. No, it's
No,
not
they're
change.
gonna die, and then you're gonna have somebody different. No,
So why- do you-
that's not how it
you-
works. You find somebody, you court somebody. First of all, the man should be finding his wife. You find somebody, you court with them, the same principles and the same morals and the same things that you attracted to that person for. They need to continue that through on the marriage.
Right.
So no, I don't want you to die and come and we one thing that no. It's two individuals. I do not own my wife. My wife is an individual. Listen,
You missed it off.
I don't own.
What I'm
I don't
saying-
want to talk about mine personally, but the man does not own, or the woman does not
I
own.
never said own. Here's what I'm saying.
And none of them should die individually and
So
become
you do
one.
the same thing so we talked about this. I'm gonna give you something we talked about. If I have a house and a lot of people scream I. When you married, it's we, right? Do you say we or I in your marriage? You say we. You and your wife are a team. Don't y'all see each other as a team?
It depends where you are in
Do
the
you and your
marriage.
wife see yourself as a team?
It depends where we are. We're not going to talk about my personal.
Oh, now you're
situation.
talking about personal.
No.
You
We're not talking
about
about my personal
Yeah.
because
I'm asking
we're
about
talking
you the
hypothetically.
married man. We talking about marriage.
Okay, we're talking about marriage. We're talking
So are
hypothetically.
y'all a team? Y'all a team, right? We
The man and the woman should be a team.
should be a team, right?
But your theory of
No, I'm telling you.
dying
my theory-
individuals.
My theory is, in order to become a team, you have to put aside your selfish ambition. You may have wanted to do something individually, but if you're not on a team, you have
You
to.
can
pass-
still want to do
You
that.
can still do that, but it may not fit.
My thing is being together to better how you was. So if
We
you
can't
see,
talk about it if you don't want to get real and shit.
I feel like if you see some bad things about, maybe you by yourself and you don't see bad things about you that another person could bring to your attention, your partner could bring to your attention. You could focus and better yourself. So that is a way that y'all both can better in the relationship. I feel, you know.
Right.
So
Ain't this something?
Some people could talk
I'm
about.
debating with two people that ain't never been married before
We're not debating. We're having a conversation.
about marriage.
Some people, right, but you're not sharing. You ain't being authentic. That's that, yeah. So some people can talk about I. See, we don't want to talk about. So if you're gonna be the married guy, we can't talk about joint bank accounts and all that. One bank account over here, one bank account over here. Then you get married, you got a bank. Some people keep their separate ones. That's
might be
individual.
different.
Right, exactly. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's still a we. It's together. It's a So
Some people ain't weak.
some people not.
nah.
So if you're gonna speak from the married perspective, share where you at. Give us clarity, brother, so we can overstand.
Shut up.
Shout out, see you right now.
I'd rather not elaborate.
No, I'd rather not love it. We overstand. We don't stand under nothing. And on that note, y'all, we're gonna be out. We've been just giving y'all a different flavor perspective this week. No entertainment, no appearance, just manhood and sports. SKEAM podcast. Again, check us out on YouTube. SKEAM.podcast, SKEAM_podcast on IG. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and like. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Catch y'all next week. Peace.